Hey guys, it's Ricky here. I've got another lesson for you. This one is all about the major scale. And the reason you need to know all about the major scale is because it is fundamental to all Western music. You can think of the major scale as being the master scale. If you want to learn your scale formulas, you have to understand the major scale. So I'm going to go through that. Without further ado, let's crack on and let me get into the lesson about the major scale. So as you can see, we have a blank sheet of paper, just the way I like it. So we're going to do pen and paper. We're also going to be using the guitar, and I will show you how to play the major scale in a cool way so that you understand it, so that you can really make use of it today. We're going to use our friend, the C major scale. And we're going to go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, you might think to yourself, right, well, what is the rhyme or reason to this business here? And this essentially is the white keys on the piano, which is why I use this. If you've played piano before, then this will be a no-brainer to you. But what you might not know is there is a set structure between each of these notes. In between C and D, we have an interval, a gap between those two notes. And the gap between those two notes, if you think this is a string, this is a fret, this is a fret, this is a fret. If we held a note and then we went up 2 frets, then this would be one whole step, or if you want to call it a tone, you can do. But I'm going to use the number 1 there to help you to look at that. There's a few ways to remember it. Now we're going to encounter another interval, and the interval that we're going to encounter is the half step. Now if you think about it, this is called the tone, like I said, or the step. Tone is UK and Europe, and step is US. What we get is a semitone in UK, and we get a half step in the US. So that's just naming protocols for both of those. So what we really do is, if it's a half, then if you think about it, 2 frets gives us a tone or a step, then it's only going to be 1 fret to get a half step. This becomes important, so we're going to just put that there as a half. So you can see you get 1 and you get a half there. Now coming back to this here, you can see between C and D, and if we counted up from letters, we had C, C sharp, D, then you could see that that would be that step. So we get 1 there. Now you could also think of it as being a tone or a step. Well, I'll put 1 there for step and T there for tone. Now looking at the distance between D and E, we can see that we get a tone again, because we go D, D sharp, E. So if we imagine that again, so we get tone, tone, or step, step. Now look at this, the distance between E and F. Do we get that? E, F. Oh, hang on, that doesn't fit into this structure here. It fits into this structure here. So you can see that a semitone is actually only half a step. So there, in between E and F. So that's a half step. Yeah, or we just leave that as a half. We could call it a semitone, ST there for semitone. So onto the next 2 notes, we go F and G, and you can see that between that, and I'll just cut to the chase with this, we get a step there between that, or a tone, and in between G and A we get a step and a tone. In between A and B we get a step as well. But in between B and C, what happens is we get this, if you think about it, B and C, well, that's a half step, so that doesn't belong in this structure, it belongs in this structure, B and C. There you go. So that's a half step or a semitone. Hang on, let me make that look like a half. There you go. So it's a half step or a semitone. Now the thing to take from this business here is that this structure, like this, will be in the handout as well. Actually, I'll put some extra ones in here for you to work stuff out. As you can see, the sequence, the order of it goes tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now look, do yourself a favor, just memorize that. You just need to memorize that. I've said that in another video, but it is just something that you need to understand, because this is the DNA of the major scale. We can look at it as being the DNA of the major scale, and how we spell that DNA gives us the scale formula. This is going to be the root note, whatever we get under there. Whatever we get under here is the second note. This is the third note, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then 8 means we get all the way back to the root note. The 8th octave is the same as a root note. Now the thing to know from this structure here is that all of these intervals in here, they stick to this rigid framework. The root note is the starting note, but this second note, we have two kinds of notes that we could possibly have here for a second. If you've seen my last video, then you'll know that majors and minors go around in pairs, and this is a major second. So don't be fooled that this would be a minor second. And this is the whole reason the major is called the major, because we've got the root, we've got the second. Guess what kind of third this is going to be? Is it going to be a minor second? Not on your Nelly. This is a major third, and just to show you that, I'll use the jazz symbols underneath it. There's the major second, there's the major third. Now be careful here, guys, because the 4th and the 5th do not have major and minor varieties. These, in fact, are the perfect 4th and the perfect 5th. That's really important to know when it comes to building your chords. Now here we get back on track with this major 6, and then what happens is we get a major 7. So you can see the DNA of this scale is root, major second, major third, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6, major 7, and then we're back to the root note again. So this is why it's called the major scale, because it's containing all the major intervals. Now I've set that out there like that, and if I just do it again, I'm just going to go use that bracket there, that shape. You see, I'm just borrowing this idea here, bracket, and then that angle bracket there like this. So we're just using this. Write these out and you can do this. So you go tone, tone, semitone. So that's the first part of it, and you can remember that in its first chunk there: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So you can see there's 2 tones followed by a semitone, 3 tones followed by another semitone. So what we've got to do with this though is we've got to work it out from whatever root note you want. So if you think about it, we've got 12 possible root notes, because those are our tonics for our keys. We've got 12 possible root notes that we can have for that, because these scales become the ingredients for chords, guys. That's a really useful thing to know. So I could start with any note here, and what I have to do then is that I have to add the sharps and the flats on accordingly. This is where knowing your fretboard notes comes in super useful. You need to get this down so that you can accurately name and find notes on any string anywhere on the fretboard. So let's say, for instance, we've done C major because that's easy because there's no sharps or flats in it. But let's take a key that has some sharps and let's look at A major. So that's what we are saying is our starting note. We need to go up. I'm going to use this here to show you as well, guys, because use your fretboard as your ruler, because that's what you're learning on. So look, A to B, and that's our root note. So the second, which is a major second that we need, it needs to be a tone or a step. So this needs to go up 1, 2 frets. So if we look at this as being, if imagine that this is A, then this is going to be A sharp, and then this is going to be B. So you can see that by going up a tone, we get a B there. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If I go up to the next note, I need the third. And I can see between A and B, I need to go up a tone. Now, let's think about it. So we've gone from B. Hang on, C's right next door to B. And that would be a semitone. We don't want that. We need to go up a tone. So if we think about it, we've gone B, C. So we have to go up another half step again to get to C sharp. And you can see that this is how you manifest all these sharps and flats. This is where they're coming from. Now, if you know your key signatures, then you could just write these out and add them to it. But let's look at this. The 4th note there, we know that C sharp, upper semitone. Well, what do we get? We can kind of figure this out. And you'll notice that none of these letters double. And this is always going to be the same going up here. So I'll just put that D in there because we can think about it from here. C sharp, D. It would be a half step. hopefully that makes sense. We get that half step there. None of these letters, like I say, repeat themselves. You're not going to ever have two Ds, a D and a D sharp, or a B and a B flat. You're never going to have that. You only have one instance of each letter name. We can see that going up from the 4th to the 5th here, we get a tone, so that would be D, D sharp, E. Right, there you go. There's the notes that we need. So going from the 5th to the major 6th now, we need to go up. Now you can see, because none of these notes are repeating, you could go A, B, C, D, E, and it's a bit of a no-brainer to know what's going to come next. It's going to be an F. But the thing is, you could write that and make the mistake of thinking that that's all that there is to it, but it isn't, because E and F, if you remember, we had it here, didn't we? E and F were only a half step apart. We need this to be a whole step. So what we need to do is we need to amend that. So if we look at this here, we go E, F, F sharp. Now we put that F sharp on there, and that gives us all the correct notes that we need there. Let's put the 7th in, because this is the last note that we need out of that bunch of 7. Remember, this first one here is just a repeat. So we're going to go up a whole step again. So F sharp, up a half step is to G, and then up a half step again gives us G sharp. So you can see that's G sharp there. And just to finish it off, if we were just imagining that octave, which is the root note, G sharp up half a step, G sharp up half a step gives you A. And that makes sense because the first letter here, the root note here, tallies with the last letter here. And that gives you the key of A major. But let me just show you something. If we relate this to a string, let me just put a string here. There's a string. And what we're going to do is, if we imagine that this is the open, let's do this as the open A string. There's your head note. Yeah, and this is open. And let's just put some frets in there, so it's the same deal, same business going on there. Let's put that on. I might have put too many frets on there, but fret 3, fret 5, fret 7, fret 9, and there we get fret 12. That should hopefully help you get your bearings. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to imagine that this is the A string, and if we go from this, we go open A up a whole step. You can see there we've gone up a whole step. I've just inverted these brackets upside down just for ease because they work both ways. We're going to go whole, half. Let's just do that there. Whole, half. You can see that's there. So we've gone whole, half. Now we're going to go up and use the rest of this bit here. We've still got 3 steps and a half step. So do that in. I'll just draw that in. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. I wanted to say tickly under there, but I won't do. And then we've got a half step to finish it off. And now if you remember that this note here is exactly the same, this distance here is an octave between those. There, between the open fret and the 12th fret. So this is just a repeat. So this is going to be A. Now we can see that these notes here now will tally with where these fall in these frets. So look, A, B is going to fall there. Then you can see we get C sharp. Then you can see we get D, and we get E, and we get F sharp, and then we get G sharp, and then we see we get back to that A again. So those all fit in there in that way. Another way to look at it as well, I think that is useful, is if you imagined that this is tab. Now look at this. This is the best, simplest explanation of tab you could have. So if you imagine that this was tab, and that this tab here was just the A string, we would have 0. This would be the 2nd fret to play the next note here. So we'd have the 2nd fret. So we put 2. Here we get, well, C sharp is 1 higher than the 3rd fret marker. So that's on fret 4. Then we get this on fret 5. You can see it's helping me along there. Fret 5. Then we get fret 7. Then we get fret 9. Then we get fret 11, and then we get fret 12 to get all the way back to the beginning. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bar line between there just to split those two ideas up so that you can see that chunking just a little bit easier. So you can see here 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Let me just play that on the guitar string for you. Right then guys, so here we are with the guitar, and what we're going to do is we transfer that information over here onto the guitar. So I've got an open A string, we've got 2, we've got 4, we've got 5, got 7, we've got 9, we've got 11, and then we've got 12. Now hopefully you can see or hear that this is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So the string there tells us all the information that we need. Here is a golden nugget. Those are all your root notes for your A shapes. Let me show you. A. We're in the key of A. The next chord is going to be B minor. The next chord is going to be C sharp minor. Next chord is D. Next chord is E. Next chord is F sharp minor. And the next chord here on 11, we'll do a minor 7 flat 5. And then you can see at the 12th fret, if I bar here, I get all the way back to an A. Now I've got all those chords. Now granted, it's not the most efficient way to move between those chords, but that's how you can work them out going up the neck in this linear manner. Do you see why this is so important, doing this? But let me just put a kicker in here. If we did it on the E string, 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, it's exactly the same structure. I've gone up step, step, half step, 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 half step. I'm just following that formula. This is why you need to remember it. Now you saw what I did with the A string. I used that to find all my chords going all the way up the neck there. Look at this. If I go like this, I go E. Well, if I go up a step, that's going to be my next chord. F sharp minor. There we go. Look, I'm just following it. I'm going up a step. Next chord is up a half step in its major. Next chord's up. You see it goes step, 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 half step. That gets me to my chord 5. My chord 6 is here. And then my chord 7, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a minor 7 flat 5 again. And then we get back all the way to an E here at the 12th fret there. So this works on all the strings. What you can do is you can use this step, step, half step, 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 half step model on all of the strings. So say I started on the B. I just need to go up a whole step, half step. That would be B. I'll try and sing it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You can hear it's all the same thing. And this works on all the strings. Let's do it in G. And you can hear that those are all in separate keys. And this is the utility of understanding the major scale. Starting on open strings is easy, but I challenge you to start on more unfamiliar notes. Say for instance, like, I don't know, let's go for A flat. So if I start on this A flat here, what I can do is I can go up using that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, or step, step, half step, 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 half step. So if I go like this is my root note, this is my major second. You can see there. Do it in chunks. Don't try and do it all in one go. Look, go root, second, third, fourth. Look, the intervals there, they're also the same as the chord names, which is another nugget. Look, listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the key of A flat. So hopefully you can see the utility in this, guys. I will see you in another lesson coming up where I will show you some more cool stuff like this where you can apply it to the guitar. Make sure you hit that subscribe and I'll see you in a lesson soon. Take care.